Good evening, everyone. Our topic for today is gender inequality. Gender inequality doesn't make sense on any level. By marginalizing the rights of women, we deny ourselves the opportunities to lift millions of men and women, children out of poverty. Not to mention the chance of just and war, fair world from birth. Girls and boys, women and men are expected to play certain roles and behave in certain ways based on traditions, religions, and other beliefs. These behaviors are learned and shaped the gender norms in a society. Unfortunately, in many countries, gender norms create advantages for women. Often girls are not sent to school. When they become women, they then have limited ability to earn money or realize their potential. Rural women play a major role in agricultural development. However, in many developing countries, women cannot formally own land. Without land, they cannot get loans to invest in their farms or businesses. This also means they have no control over the use of land or the benefits that come from it. Men generally control the household decisions like how to use the family's assets. These advantages are often reinforced by practices that limit women's access to services like training. Cultural benefits can also restrict women opportunities, such as in parts of Zambia where women cannot paddle their boats as it is considered bad omen. The result of these issues, women remain poor and agricultural production cannot reach in potential, perpetuating poverty and hunger in the developing world. The social norms that limit women's opportunities need to understand and then change. By taking a gender transformative approach, we can influence social norms and bridge the gaps in access to resources and services between men and women. In a lasting manner, change is needed on many levels and both men and women must be involved for it to happen. Research and development organizations need to invest in programs that promote gender equality alongside improving the productivity and income policies. Need to be implemented that increase women's access to services and resources. Communities need to support women as farmers, as leaders. Increasing women's voice and agency is valuable and in its own right. When developed, organization policies and communities support the access of women, we have to chance to reduce extreme poverty and boost shared prosperity of girls and women, boys and men around the world.
Gender inequalities in India. In India, a child is sexually abused every 15 minutes, according to the latest government figures. A total of 106,958 cases of child abuse were reported in India just in the year 2016. But due to general reluctance to talk about the topic, so the real number of cases could be much higher. Women are traditionally considered by the society as weaker sex. She has been accorded a subordinate position to men. She is exploited, degraded, violated, and discriminated both in our homes and outside world. Even in schools and different sections of society, girl child haven't been given any preference in sports like cricket, football, and hockey, just because they are considered to be a game only boys can play. If provided the right education and positive atmosphere, women have been showing some fabulous trends in India as well as world. Here the list of some successful women in the world. Indu Jain, Chairman and CEO of Bennett Coleman and Company Limited. Kiran Majumdar Shaw, Founder, Chairman and Managing Director of Bicon. Indra Nui, CEO and President of Pepsi. Chandra Kochar, MD and CEO of ICICI Bank. Mithali Raj, Captain of Indian Women's Cricket Team. Women have always been dynamic and always keen to be into business. Women had seized business opportunity despite formidable odds. It is our duty to provide them their rights, treat them equally in the society. Let's convert gender inequality into gender equality.
Good evening, everyone. Today's topic is gender inequalities. Gender inequalities is the social process by which men and women are not treated as equals. The treatment may arise from distinctions regarding biology, psychology, or cultural norms. Some of these distinctions are empirically grounded, while others appear to be socially constructed. Today's main topic is gender inequalities in education. In the education field, both sexes still continues to focus on traditional gender roles, which strongly steers and reduce their choices of education, occupation, and life concepts. This reinforcing the male norms in society, the unequal power relationship of the sexes, the sex segregation of the labor market. Gender. Gender is a social construct that impacts attitude, roles, and responsibilities and behavior patterns of boys and girls, men and women. Increasing attention has been given to the importance of achieving gender equality in education. Gender bias. Gender bias is preference towards one gender over the other. Gender bias occurs when people make assumptions regarding behaviors, abilities of others based upon their genders. Gender bias in school enrollments. Boys have to do work rather than attend school. Financial responsibilities also. Gender bias in dropouts. The social barriers standing in the way of girls attending schools. First, poverty. Second, misconceptions. Third, limited.
चला आगे ना फटाफट हाथ मुंह धो लो साहब मेरे काम में मदद कर भाई तेरा अभी खाना खाने आता और
अरे मेरे को तो होमवर्क करने का है अभी
कितना पढ़ेंगी स्कूल में पढ़ती है ट्यूशन पढ़ती है घर में नहीं पढ़ना किताबें मत लेकर बैठना भी थोड़ा काम में भी मदद कर मैं अकेले काम में थक जाती हूँ मैं चम्मच गिलास के अंदर
खाना तो मेरे को बहुत जोर की भूख लगी है
आ गया मेरा बेटा अभी रुक गर्मा गर्म खाना बना दे वो खिलाती हूँ ठीक है
मुझे बाहर खेलने जाना है मेरे फ्रेंड वेट कर रहे हैं मेरा
जा बेटा
मेरे भी बास्केटबॉल की प्रैक्टिस है बताओ प्रैक्टिस करना है
सोनाली अभी घर में खाना बन चुका है जब बर्तन धो ले और ये सब काम लड़कियां नहीं करती है स्पोर्ट्स वोर्ट्स में हिस्सा लेना वो सब काम लड़कों का है ठीक है जाओ बर्तन धो ले
और भाभी बताओ सब कैसा चल रहा है आपने भेजी नहीं सोनाली को प्रैक्टिस के लिए आज
क्या भेजूँ मैं ये सब काम लड़की को थोड़ी ना होता है ये स्पोर्ट्स में हिस्सा लेना लड़के लोग को सूट करता है ये स्पोर्ट्स एंड ऑल
भाभी आपकी सोच ना बहुत गलत है ज़रा आप अपनी सोच को है ना बदलो आज के ज़माने में ना लड़का लड़की में कोई भेदभाव नहीं कर रहा है दोनों को इक्वली मौका दो आगे बढ़ने का समझे वरना ऐसा ना हो कि कल जाके ना आपकी बेटी को आप पे गुस्सा है कि आपने ऐसे क्यों करे उसके साथ अभी भी मौका है उसको आगे बढ़ने का मौका दो
अब सही कह रही हूँ मैं अभी इसको प्रैक्टिस किया छोड़ता हूँ
हाँ
सोनाली चल बेटा बस हो गया आधी
Gender inequality in the workplace. Gender inequality refers to unequal treatment or perception of individuals based on their gender. The first thing that pops into our mind are women. Men are the ones that usually have all the powerful position in the workplace than women. Due to men having or sharing the same characteristics with each other, men in the position of power will typically promote or hire other men, resulting in discrimination against women. Let us take a look at some comparison between women and men. Education. 86,37,456 men in college, 1,15,58,468 women in college. 30% more women with college education. Six out of 10 bachelor degrees are earned by a woman. Employment. 73% of companies have more manpower than women. 2014 forecast in workplaces. Earning. $89,300 earned by men, $65,100 earned by women. 37% earning gap between men and women. Earning gap. For every $1 a man makes, a woman makes $0.75. Conclusion. Women are more educated, men are more employed. Men make more money, but one person at a time can help achieve gender equality in the workplace, and it all starts with you. You can make a difference starting today. Changing workplace, changing life.
This video is a closer look at the gender inequality that fuels the violence that affects 2 out of 3 women from all backgrounds in the Pacific. So what does cause domestic violence? Let's rewind and see when gender inequality takes hold. Mele and Jacob are the same age. They grew up in the same village. Growing up, they learned different roles for men and women. Mele helped her mum with cooking, cleaning, and childcare, while Jacob helped with outdoor work. He has more free time. Their rigid views of masculine as strong and protective and feminine as caring and serving were formed. Jacob learns that anything feminine is associated with weakness. He is teased if he shows emotion and told he kicks like a girl if he plays poorly. Jacob learns that women are valued less, boys are better than girls. Mele learns that she can't do everything the boys are allowed to do. As Mele grows into a teen, men start commenting on her body. She is told to cover herself, don't walk alone or after dark. She is made responsible for preventing men's behavior. Meanwhile, Jacob sees his friends harassing women. It makes him seem powerful. He does it too, so his friends will respect him. The two start a relationship and both begin looking for work after high school. Mele struggles to find work. She accepts a low-paid office job. Jacob finds a higher-paying job more easily and becomes the breadwinner. Mele is dependent on Jacob for financial support. Mele does all the household chores and cares for her grandparents and their growing family. Jacob gets angry if the dishes aren't done or his clothes aren't clean. He expects dinner to be ready when he gets home. He makes major decisions for both of them. After all, he earns the most. When he starts to hit Mele, he blames her for it. He says she provokes him, that she needs to try harder. That it's her role as a partner to serve him, they are not equals. Mele turns to her pastor for help. He asks her to consider her own role. He reminds her that we cannot change others, but we can work to improve ourselves and be patient. In this way, church teachings can be interpreted to justify gender inequality and maintain the status quo, leaving Mele without help and Jacob in control. The police visit the house. They discourage Mele from pressing charges, downplay her experiences, and encourage reconciliation. Gender inequality can be reinforced even by people who are there to help, leaving Jacob unchallenged. Mele's safety is considered less important than maintaining harmony. Gender inequality is the result of the belief that men and women have different rights and entitlements. It means that men's opinions and desires are more important than those of women. It is created and maintained through social norms, socialization of children, and institutional and structural barriers, as we've seen with Mele and Jacob. This inequality is the cause of domestic violence. Inequality between men and women and parents and children gives some people power over others, which can lead to abuse. It is embedded in the belief that women's purpose is to serve and obey, and men's role is to lead. When domestic violence is recognized as a result of gender inequality, it becomes clear that a lot of excuses for violence are just that, excuses. Domestic violence is not caused by alcohol, poor tempers, disobedient women, uncompleted household tasks, or any other excuse. It is caused because of the belief that men are entitled to have their desires met and to be obeyed, and this is power, this is gender inequality. Gender inequality is deeply rooted in our society and the source of domestic violence. But domestic violence also reinforces gender inequality. It is a vicious cycle. Family, school, and church can address gender norms and attitudes in children before they become ingrained. Media affects how people view each other. Working towards representation of equal relationships between genders can help change people's minds. Gender inequality programs, such as improving support and response services, must include men and women. To summarize, gender inequality causes domestic violence. Domestic violence is fueled by inequality, power, and control. Domestic violence is often blamed on excuses. Gender inequality and domestic violence are a cycle. Domestic violence is a violation of human rights. We can stop the cycle of violence by working together to transform harmful social norms. In an equal society, everyone thrives.